When we first got in touch, we haven't sent an email to our customers maybe in 6 months or so. So that needed to change. The first month of our collaboration, we've seen a growth of around 25K USD in revenue from you guys. I'm Andrei Busika, and we work in the professional skincare industry, supplying products to our customers, mainly Korean cosmetics. And one particular thing about our business is that it's very relationship driven, and important thing is retention for this niche we are in of customers.
So retention for you guys is really important.
Yeah, that's one of the main things for us is to build trust with customers, and this way to have a good retention rate across customers.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And when we were first meeting, you mentioned also that you guys operate in multiple markets. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so when we first had our call together, we were then only operating in 4 countries here in Eastern Europe. So Romania being our main market, and Bulgaria, Poland, and Hungary. So now we expanded. We are also present in Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Croatia, and soon to expand more to Austria and Germany.
Okay, all right. So you guys are rapidly expanding across Europe.
Yeah. Rapidly or not, that's relative.
Well, it's still like adding countries almost every single month. I would say it's solid growth.
Yeah, it's been quite a push.
Awesome. What were your initial challenges when you started looking for solutions regarding email marketing?
We basically know that email is something important, and we didn't have enough time being so caught up launching all our stores and countries we mentioned. We basically just left it there, and sometimes we made some promotions, but they were not consistent. And when we first got in touch, we haven't sent an email to our customers maybe in 6 months or so. So that needed to change.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, the biggest challenge really was that you guys didn't have the time to work on it.
Yes, exactly. Didn't have the time, and what you usually do in this case, you say, okay, we don't have the time. Or many entrepreneurs is, okay, let's try hire somebody, but that's not very easy to do. I think maybe easier said than done, but hiring somebody with right skills to manage this is very difficult, I think, for us at this stage at least. Yeah, natural option was to look for somebody that could help us and have the experience in this regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense. And before you actually started looking for help, you mentioned you didn't have the time to do it yourself, and the last time you guys sent an email was like 6 months before we met. How long was that going on for? How long did you feel like email should be a bigger part of the business, but you didn't have the time to work on it?
We basically knew from the start, right? Because we launched in Romania maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and we knew how much potential there is doing it right, in the sense that email marketing has been the most important growth lever for the Romanian marketplace, and that we noticed across many years since they started. And I'm talking about our partners that launched in Romania initially, and then we came along a year ago to expand in Eastern Europe, and we knew what we had to do. Time was against us, I would say, and we didn't have the resources to manage the email channel effectively. And also it was a question of, obviously we didn't have customer base to address our emails at the beginning, but we slowly build it in this year that we have been active on, and then it became a priority to have the email channel handled properly.
I see. I was just about to ask you, like, what was that point when you finally decided, okay, now it's really time for us to work on our email program?
Maybe it was the numbers of the audience we were getting, comparing it to different sources on online, and the experience that we had from Romania. We set ourselves a target of audience size that we thought, okay, when sending emails to this kind of audience size, we should get X result, and that was the decision factor, let's say. The primary one. So
you already had like a certain amount of subscribers, you had a certain threshold that you wanted to send them an email, you sent them an email, you see there are some results, and decided that it's finally time to start investing more into the email program.
Yeah, I would say that was the case.
And then you mentioned a little earlier that it is easier said than done to hire somebody that really knows what they're doing. What made you take the decision to work with our team, with Grow My Mail specifically?
This one came after going online on different channels to find and hire the right person to do the job, and comparing the offers that we received, but also looking through and studying what other cases, other customers, other success stories, or each partner that applied to our job posting, let's say. So going through all that information, we had to take a decision, and we find that Grow My Mail was best positioned in all the applicants that applied to our job posting. So yeah, I We think it was an easy decision when we made the comparison, and we are happy with the results so far.
What made us stand out the most from everybody else?
I guess you being in this kind of business to engage customers, right? So basically what we need from people like you, services like you, is gain the attentions of our customers using good copywriting, using good quality content, media, static videos, photos. So it's kind of like the way I would want as a business to address to my customers. That's what I want to see from applicants, from you guys, when you applied to sell your services to us, right? So I felt my mail achieved that successfully in the sense that I noticed all the hard work you put in presenting your company, your services. So I know how much work is behind all that. And that was actually one of the biggest, I would say, key decision factor that led me to choose you amongst other competitors of yours.
So the actual application process and all the hard work and
just looking through your communication, your way of organizing discussions, your way of presenting yourself online and so on, that's a big cue for how well you know what you're doing. In my opinion.
So actually all the materials that we also sent before we even talked about what potential scope could look like, what next steps could look like, that was helpful for you to understand like what the process is going to look like working together, not only what the process of working together is going to look like, but how much work it takes to organize that process in a way that you're going to understand it. And so you assume that we are going to put the same amount of effort into the work that we are delivering for you as a client.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. And then you mentioned that you've been very happy with the results so far. Do you mind talking a little bit more about some of the results that we've been able to achieve so far?
Let's say our collaboration is quite fresh. We have a couple of months of working together, but from the beginning, I noticed how your team and your process is set up. It's very well organized, monthly plan that you propose with all timelines for the reviews of your proposals, and it's quite transparent process, and you feel like you know what's going on our side. So, for example, on our side, if we want to maybe have some changes to the designs or maybe have some other kind of input, it is very well defined how to do those changes and how to address that to be the most effective and efficient when working together with many people in your team, right? That's very important, I think.
Do you actually feel comfortable sharing part of those numbers with our audience of what we've been able to achieve together since starting to work?
Yeah, so based on the reports I received, we've seen a growth of around 4,300 new subscribers. Only in the first month of our collaboration is 25K USD in revenue from you guys.
Okay, so that's exclusively through stuff that we've been able to help you with Skingrow.
We feel it's a good start.
Hopefully it's the start of many more 25K months.
Yeah.
Of additional revenue. What does that revenue actually do for you guys?
For every business, particularly at the beginning, I would say it's crucial to have multiple revenue streams. So any cent matters.
I absolutely agree with you. Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I guess one of the most important questions for me as well is, outside of the numbers, we've obviously been able to achieve success and get off to a great start. What have you personally enjoyed most about our collaboration?
As I mentioned earlier, I think we don't need to micromanage ourselves, so everything is thought through, communicated clearly, and in an efficient way. The most important thing for us is to feel like you guys are part of our team. It's as frictionless as possible, our communication and collaboration. That's what I feel is the most important for us.
In general, if we have to summarize, it would be making your life and your job easier and more enjoyable.
Yeah, precisely.
I understand. And I guess one of my last questions for you would be, what would you tell somebody who is considering Grow My Mail but is not quite sure whether they should make a commitment or try to work with us? What would you tell them?
If someone is on the fence deciding if working on an email channel growth is worth it or not, it's definitely one of the highest return of investments I think you can do. And I think you guys know what you're doing. So definitely would recommend anyone who wants to get serious about growth and the retention to work with you.
Thank you, Andrei. I really appreciate your time. I hope that this video is going to help other people make the right decision as well. Appreciate you jumping on. And yeah, let's make 2026 the most successful email year for you guys.
Yes, thank you very much and keep in touch.